Bible to be used as a weapon. If you try to use it as a weapon, it will backfire. Sex is never allowed to be used as a weapon. When you say I do, all of this is
Good morning. Well, good afternoon.
All of this is mine.
I am retwisting my hair.
So whoever you say I do to, all of this is theirs. And all of that is yours. Okay? The only time we withhold is by consent. Y'all getting quiet. I'm gonna give y'all Bibles. Y'all getting quiet. The only time we withhold is by consent. We're fasting. We're praying. Menstrual purification or a medical issue. That's it. Let me give you a Bible because y'all looking cray. I want to help somebody, especially married couples.
I don't know if y'all can hear what I'm watching,
I said we're gonna read this,
but it's called How to Heal from Lust.
Verse 5, it says, certainly, but only within a certain context. It is good for a man to have a wife and for a woman to have a husband. Sexual drives are strong. Can I get somebody to say real strong? Sexual drives are strong, but marriage is strong enough to contain them and provide for a balanced and fulfilling sex life in a world of sexual disorder. The marriage bed must be a place of mutuality. The husband seeking to satisfy his wife and the wife seeking to satisfy her husband. Marriage is not a place to stand up for your rights. Y'all listen to this. Marriage is a decision to serve the other, whether in bed or out. Abstaining from sex is permissible for a period of time if you both agree on it. And if it is for the purposes of prayer and fasting, but only for such times. Then come back together. Satan has an ingenious way of tempting us when we least expect it. This is so good, y'all. Marriage is a lifelong dance of serving one another. And for all men, it is a kingdom biblical requirement for me to model in laying my life down.
In honor of our most romantic month, come get 2 chicken
Hello.
bacon for just $5.55. Share them with that special someone.
How are y'all?
It is a kingdom biblical requirement for me to
I am listening to this sermon. It's called How to Heal from Lust. And I am watching it because
can you lead in any other place besides heartache? I need you to lead, and ladies, don't clap too much.
I'm on a celibacy journey, and you gotta.
Can you help? See, I'm not a woman. Thank God.
Watch things that will help you
I would ask myself this question
on your celibacy journey. So this How to Heal from Lust is pretty good. I'm just starting out on this on this sermon, so y'all can just listen.
The Bible tells her to honor him. Can you honor his position more than his person? Woo. When he's getting on your nerves, can you still honor the position? More than you honor the position of your boss who gets on your nerves.
This is the Retwist gel that I'm using. It's called Neat Braid Conditioning Shining Gel for braids and retwists.
Can I honor that type of man, though? I know he's fine, and I know we've known each other, but can I imagine that being my head? Can I imagine that being the gatekeeper of my home? Can I trust him with the responsibility to engage in spiritual warfare and protect me and my babies? Can I see that in him? Can I see that covering me? And same thing for my brothers. Can I see her honoring anything? If I need a help meet, what places can she help me meet that I can't meet by myself? And you have to understand this. You don't need a helpmeet if you're not trying to get to any place. Because nobody wants to follow a man who's not going anywhere.
Okay.
Where we going, bro? What we doing, bro? What's your plan? What's your vision? What's your goal? I don't know. You fine. Negative, sir. Oh, this is so good. When sex is seen as disgusting due to the sexual abuse, we got to talk about this, y'all. We have to normalize having uncomfortable conversations, especially in church. When sex is seen as disgusting due to the sexual abuse, and now I am feeling dirty and I've never played in the mud. Somebody took something from me, like perversion touched me before puberty ever had me. And something happened in my life before I was ever able to even understand sexual arousal. That was supposed to be for my husband, not your perversion. And it happens to men too. That was supposed to be for my wife, not your perversion. Sexual abuse is real and it's in the church. And many pastors have been the ones who are spearheading it in counseling sessions and in booths. And I'm dealing with it. And the place that was supposed to heal me gave me trauma. And so now I'm struggling and I'm wondering, can God still love somebody with all of these mud stains? And I came here on tonight to debunk the lies of the enemy. The blood is greater than mud. There is no depth, there is no height, there is no valley, there is no mountain, there is no desert, there is no wilderness, there is no ocean that is too far for you to not experience the love of God. God doesn't see you by what you've done. He sees you by the blood. And I think we need to pause. I know we were just serious, but I think we need to pause for a second. Everybody online, join us for a virtual praise break. Is there anybody thankful for the blood? See, okay, there's some stuff that don't nobody know about but you and God. I'm thankful that He covered it. The blood still works and is greater than mud. We have to normalize preaching.
In the front, I kind of flat twist.
Normalize it. It may not get a lot of likes, and that's okay. It may not get a lot of follows, and that's okay. It may not grow your platform, and that's okay. You may not be able to open another campus because of these type of messages, and that's okay. You may not get a bigger offering, but that's okay. Somebody will be set free. There will be a marriage that gets restored. There will be a college student that is fighting for purity in a sick world. And purity is not just resisting not having sex. It is the resistance of defilement. It will help you get stronger. I need to have messages that remind my sisters that you are a queen. You don't have to keep running into the arms of a man. Run into the loving arms of Jesus so that you can stop hating what you see in the mirror. Your beauty is deeper than Sephora. Your beauty
Come
is
on
deeper
now.
than Mac. I feel this, y'all. And the same thing for my brothers who are ashamed because of what our uncle did. And now we feel as though manhood is how well I throw these. Manhood is you following Jesus and giving him everything you have. That's manhood. You are the apex of God, bro. There's a lion that lives on the inside of you. Let the earth hear your roar. Stop questioning who you are because of what culture views as success. The world is not your mirror, it is your canvas. And we are God's paintbrush.
Can y'all hear this?
The world
What y'all think about
is
it?
not your
Are y'all
mirror,
enjoying the
it is your
message?
canvas, and we are God's
'Cause I'm enjoying
paintbrush.
it.
I'm doing this for the woman or the man who's struggling with pornography in secret.
Ooh, come on
Let me tell
now.
you something. Pornography and sex-related sites. Let me give you some statistics. Pornography and sex-related sites make up 60% of daily web traffic.
You know what? I believe that
40%
because
visit porn sites once a month. And that number increases to 70% when we're dealing with men between the ages of 18 and 35. And so now we have sisters who want godly men, but in secret, perversion is training us how to love. I'm doing this.
You know, a lot of people watch porn
You're practicing abstinence.
behind
And you're
closed
starting to
doors,
wonder, is it really worth
and
it? Because your birthday
I'm not afraid to say
the
that
holidays just came
that was
by,
definitely
and
something
it seems
I
as though
have
everybody
struggled
else
with
is
before.
engaged in the basket
And honestly, the
robbers
only
of
way
sex
that I was
exchange.
able to stop
You know how
is
basket robbers,
really
31 flavors,
like
31
get
flavors.
serious with
You
my
got
relationship
sprinkles,
with God.
you got hot fudge.
And
But the devil
even
never tells you
like
about the calories though.
even now,
Like we heard about
like I gotta watch the
STDs.
stuff that I
What about that
watch,
other STD?
even when it's like on
The
shows and stuff like that,
spiritually
because
tormented
all of that can be
devils.
triggering. Like
There
let's
is
be
always
real.
a
Let's
torment
keep it a
that
buck.
we
All
will
that can be
experience
triggering.
when we go outside of the will of God. I'm not talking about a soul tie because the blood covered everything. Your soul is tied to the cross. I gotta break these generational curses.
That's
Listen,
why
generational
there's
curses were broken
nothing
at the
like,
cross. Generational
believe me,
cycles are
there's
broken in your head.
nothing
Did y'all hear
that
what I
God
just said?
cannot deliver you
The
from.
blood
Like
broke
I
it,
know
and the
for
blood
sure
breaks every
from
generational
experience.
curse. It's just that for most of us, we're following generational cycles. There's a torment that comes every time we do things outside of the will of God. I'm doing this for the glory of God and for the individual who is struggling to forgive the person who molested you. Struggling with forgiving them. I don't see how a good God could love a person after they did what they did to me. I'm struggling with that. I'm doing this for the individual who is struggling with forgiving yourself for every sexual encounter you had that was vandalism of the soul.
Come on now.
And now I'm only seeing myself as dirty. And yes, you raise your hands and you say that God forgives you, but truth be told, you haven't forgiven yourself.
Come on now. I done went through that too. Like
For the individual
I had to
who
forgive
had a sexual
myself for
experience
some
that
of the
was so
things that I
intense
did.
that you are now
For
having
sure.
pornographic dreams.
Mm.
Y'all not talking to me. I'm talking about you wake up and your flesh is on fire. Pornographic cinematography film that happened in your dream life to where you're like, how am I reading the Bible like this? How am I fasting like this? How am I praying like this? I'm binging these sermons. I'm listening to several. How am I getting this much Bible, but my flesh is still on fire like this? Am I really free? Am I really delivered? Let me help you. That wasn't you. That was a satanic attack. Gosh, I hope this helps somebody. The enemy knows the warfare is in your head. If I can't get you to go back, maybe I could throw a thought in their mind. Maybe I could throw a dream in their mind. And they're talking about it all day, not knowing that they're talking about it is watering it. That was a satanic assault that's trying to get us to a place.
This
where I
is
go
so
back.
real.
But here's the thing. Anytime the enemy steps up his attack, it's because he's upset because he no longer has you. So good, y'all. The sword is the only offensive weapon you have. Let me give you a Bible. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 10. It says, finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Somebody say, be strong. Put on the whole armor, not some of it. Put on the whole armor that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against rulers of the darkness of this age, against spiritual hosts of wickedness in the heavenly places. Therefore, take up the whole armor of God, that you may be able to withstand the evil day, and having done all to stand. Stand, therefore, having girded your waist with truth, having put on the breastplate of righteousness, having shod your feet with the preparation of the gospel of peace, above all, taking the shield of faith, with which you are able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked one, and take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which
That
is
lust
the word
is-
of God. I
listen.
want to teach us how to sword fight.
Listen.
Whenever we have those thoughts that come in our life,
You really
how to
gotta
sword
put-
fight. What
I'm
scripture do
laughing,
you
but
have
I'm so
that is gonna
serious. Like,
help
you really
prepare
gotta
yourself to fight back? If you don't
pray.
have any, I'm gonna give you a few. Hebrews
Pray
chapter
that
11,
lust
verse
away.
24, it says, by faith Moses, when he had grown up.
Because at the end of the day, we all human, and flesh wants what the flesh wants.
He chose to be
You understand?
along with the people of God rather than to enjoy the fleeting pleasures of sin. Whenever the pop-up happens, whenever the DM happens, whenever the text happens,
how am I gonna style
remember
it?
this scripture, it's fleeting.
I don't know how I'm gonna style
It's
it.
fleeting. It's fleeting. It doesn't satisfy me. It doesn't satisfy. That doesn't satisfy me. It's fleeting. The pleasures of sin are fleeting, and sexual sin will always leave you more thirsty after you take a drink.
You know what?
Give you more Bible. 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 22. It says, flee. Somebody say flee. Flee the evil desires of youth and pursue righteousness, faith, and love, and peace, along with those who call on the Lord out of a pure heart. See, this is the problem. Some of us are running from, but we're not running to. What are you running to? I just gotta go to the gym. I just gotta work out. I just gotta, my flesh on fire. I just gotta do everything I know how to do. Okay? You're running from. But what are you running to? Getting ahead of myself. A list of do's and don'ts doesn't work.
No.
I tried it.
It does
Y'all
not.
look real saved. I'm gonna look real unsaved. I tried it. I ain't gonna watch porn today. I ain't gonna do it today. I'm not gonna do it today. I'm gonna be godly today. I'm gonna read my Bible today. I'm cool one day. Tuesday I'm kind of burning. Wednesday, oh Lord. Then I gotta go to class and it's a little more.
Swear, this is exactly how it be, like.
I'm so sorry. Has anybody ever been in a cycle of asking for forgiveness for the same sin?
Yes.
Y'all look holy. I'm gonna just talk about me. God, I'm sorry, I did it. Okay, I'm not gonna do this. And because I messed up, I'm gonna punish me. Y'all ever did that?
Yes.
I'm gonna punish myself. I'm not gonna eat breakfast. I'm not gonna eat breakfast. No, I'm not going to the gym. I'm gonna punish me. I gotta teach me a lesson because I can't do this, and I can't do that, and I can't do this, and I can't do that. And then you go to church sometimes, and they have legalistic messages, and they say you can't do this, and you can't do that, and you can't do this, and you can't do that. And then you go home. That's right. I can't do this. I can't do that. I can't do this. I can't do that. I'm like, bro, the gospel is about liberation, not limitation. In the Garden of Eden, God said, just don't eat from one. I'm thinking y'all got all these trees. I don't know how many trees there were. He said, just don't eat one. And so I recognized, oh, the list of do's and don'ts doesn't work. Fight for joy. Yeah, that's it. Fight for joy. That freedom that you feel, I didn't engage in this today. It's not about the staircase, one stair at a time. I didn't watch this today. I didn't sleep with my boyfriend today. I didn't do this with my girlfriend today. And some of us need to break up. It happened to me right before I met Tanisha. And this was the question that I asked myself that caused me to get to the place where I recognize this wasn't God's will. Is it hard for me to be holy with her? Like, being with you is a war zone. Just walking around with a towel. I'm getting ready in a moment. Girl, what you doing? What you doing? And I'm gonna be like, God, come on, God has given me self-control. God, why am I fighting harder to be with you?
I know that wasn't the end. Hold on, wait a minute. That was 20. Hold on, wait a minute. I know that wasn't the video was 22 minutes. Well, we're gonna listen to something else about battling the fleshly desires. 'Cause baby, we all go through it. We all go through it. But this one is called, this one's short.
Surrender is
The Secret to
a
Surrender.
scary word. If you're anything like me, your heart moves every time you hear it because you're aware of all that is in you or in your life that might need to go, to leave, to be tossed up towards heaven and given back to God. Surrender ain't a new word, though. or a new concept, should I say. In Genesis, you have two people that God created. You have Adam and Eve, who were made in the image of God and thus for his glory, who by virtue of their perfection at a time lived in a continual state of surrender, where their bodies and their lives were always his, and by his I mean God's. They lived for him until the serpent showed up. The devil didn't try to delete the concept of surrender, however. He didn't tell them that they shouldn't surrender at all. All he did was put them in the position to surrender to something or someone other than God, where their bodies and their lives were given over to the glory of a created thing. Through temptation and deception, they were willing to sacrifice their entire selves on somebody else's altar because they stopped believing that God was the worthy one. And this same reasoning is in all of us. And that's why surrender scares us. Because we think that if we give up what God is telling us to give him, if we hand over that thing that means too much to us, if we just decide to stop bowing at the foot of the idols of our own making and stand on our 2 feet for once, we reckon that surrender to God is somehow the practice of relinquishing our joy. That is an ancient lie. Because what it says is that once my hands are open and empty, that God is not big enough or good enough to fill it up again. Our fear of surrender is really our unbelief that God is better than everything God is telling us to give. In 1 Samuel, there is a woman named Hannah. Hannah is married to a man named Elkanah. He is also married to another woman named Peninnah. I would not follow in his footsteps if I was you. Peninnah had children. Hannah did not. To us, this might seem like not too big of a deal. If anything, in our day and age, it might sound like a blessing not to have several babies and all of that. But Hannah is in a culture where to not have children is seen as being cursed by God. If you know the story at all, Hannah is provoked often by Peninnah, often because of her infertility, to the point that Hannah is depressed and vexed, as the scripture describes her, because she wants something so bad, but no matter what she does, she can't seem to obtain it. Not only that, but the Bible doesn't indict her body as the reason for her infertility. It puts all the blame on God. It said that God is the reason that her womb is closed. This season that Hannah finds herself in is due to the heavy providential hand of God. So Hannah may be sensing that if God is the reason this is happening, then God is the reason this can change. She takes herself into the temple and cries out before this God. In her prayer, she asks God to give her a son. You'd expect that's where the prayer would end, that it would just land on a petition. But she follows it up with an even crazier prayer, one of which isn't a petition, but a promise. I'm going to read it. It's 1 Samuel 1, verse 11. O Lord of hosts. Notice she begins her prayer not with the problem, but with the person she's addressing this prayer to. O Lord of hosts, if you will indeed look on the affliction of your servant, remember me, and not forget your servant, but will give to your servant a son, then I will give him to the Lord all the days of his life, and no razor shall touch his head. I'm going to read it again, but with inflections this time. O Lord of hosts, if you will indeed look on the affliction of your servant, and remember me, and not forget your servant, but will give to your servant a son, then I will give him to the Lord. Do you hear this craziness? She has just asked God for the thing that might end her distress, for the thing that might give her joy in her body and peace in her home. She has, year after year, been provoked by Peninnah for not having the ability to have a child. She's been depressed because of it, sad because of it, vexed because of it, and every other adjective used to describe somebody that ain't happy. But now, all of a sudden, the one thing that she has always wanted, she is more...
Let me go get some, because I'm about to sit under the dryer. Let me go get some foaming mousse. Not foaming mousse, but it's like lock mousse. Or do I have that in here? I don't. But I'm going to go sit under the dryer, put my mousse on my hair, and then I will be back once my hair dry because I'm going to style it some type of way. I don't know which way, but this is how my retwist is looking so far. This is the back. So, yeah, I will be back in a few hours to style it. And thank y'all so much for watching and listening to a sermon with me. And I will talk to y'all later. Bye.